is important to get money on the table. It is important to have funds, it's important to have investment, it's important to have marketing dollars, and that's what we're here to announce. I truly believe that 2022 can be the breakthrough year. If we put our hands together, we push through, we break through. And one of the breakthrough ideas that I'm really pleased to introduce tonight is the Hispanic Star Ventures. And for that, I'm glad to have, I'm really delighted to be able to have my partner, George Northcott from Founders Factory. I just want to start, I think that you should start introducing Founders Factory, and then we can talk about the data.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Claudia. So good to be here with all of you. I suppose our kind of core belief is that entrepreneurs have the power to bring change. And
yes.
And it's been inspiring hearing about all the data from today around underrepresentation in finance and education. I'm sure we'll talk about healthcare, the amount of Hispanics driving small business growth. And we really believe that entrepreneurs can create more jobs, solve problems, develop new technology, drive economies, and I think most importantly, create stories that inspire others to be entrepreneurs too. So our business is focused on encouraging more and more talented people to become founders, and then helping them to be as successful as possible.
Yes, so Founders, George is part of Founders Forum, Founders Factory from Brent Hoberman. I know Founders Factory, and I would like you to introduce Founders Factory to everybody, but I know Brent Hoberman for over 20 years. And a couple of years ago, I went to him and said, it's great that you're investing in Europe, don't get me wrong. You've created more unicorns than anyone else in Europe, in Spain, in London, everywhere. Come to America, to Latinos. Come because you cannot miss it. These Latinos are the growth. And the result is that we're here today. And I would love for all of you to understand the credibility that Founders Factory is. So introduce what Founders Factory is and the kind of investments you have done.
Yeah, so can you hit the next slide? So yeah, we're a venture builder and investor. We've invested in over 200 companies globally now. And the core of what we do is not just investing, but providing experienced team members to the founders that we support. So every founder we back can get access to an expert in marketing, in technology, in product, in design, and really give hands-on support to those entrepreneurs. And I think most importantly, open up different networks. Networks are so compelling and important for founders to be successful. So we want to unlock networks of corporations, of investors, to the benefit of the founders that we support. We've got our main office here in New York and London. We've been working in Johannesburg for 3 years now, doing this in Africa. And we see supporting Hispanics in the United States as the kind of next frontier in partnership with Claudia.
So when we got together, you all probably know about the Hispanic Star as a framework, as an initiative, as an umbrella to unify us all, to make it simple for change to happen, because we truly believe that everybody wants to do the right thing. You just have to give it the right tools so that change can be easily accessible. The premise here is that what's good for Hispanics is good for America. And Hispanic progress is American progress, so we have to fuel Hispanic progress. And this is because everybody has said it, but I just want to compress it and just also want to give credit to a lot of the sources of the data that we have. Look, we gave you an entire morning of data. I just want to make sure that you capture, if there's 2 slides that I would like all of you to memorize in a way, is this: Hispanics are critical to America. Hispanics are critical to corporate America. We are not only the population, you heard it from Marco, you heard it from everybody, we're 19% of the population, 62 million people, but we're 30% of the population by 2050. Hello, hello, hola. Hello, hello, hola. That's massive. We're going to be the largest segment in America because we're the 51% of the population growth. We're so generous with our love. We're expansive. And that will continue being because we're the majority, and that will continue being. And not only there were many, we're the youngest as a fact. Every minute a Latino turns 18. Where our average age is 29 years old. Latinas are 26 years old. We look young because we are young. And we're 1 decade younger than the rest of the population. As a fact, taking it from Stacy, the mode, which is the most common age according to Nielsen is 11 years old. The most common age of 62 million Latinos is 11 years old. The most common age of non-Latinos is 58. That's why we're doing Founders. That's why we have to invest, because we're the future and we're the growth. And this slide tells you also that, as Anna has said, we're $2.7 trillion is economic power. That's 12% of the GDP. So every one of us should go out in the street and look at anybody in the eye and say, like, you're welcome. No problem. 12% of your salary on us, it's okay. And yours too, and yours too. We generate 12% of GDP, and that GDP is growing 7% faster than any other GDP. If you would look at the fastest growing economies in the world, everywhere in the world, Latino economy is the third largest growing economy in the world. After China and India, Latinos. And that means, because of that growth, because of the economic power, the purchasing power is insane, $1.9 trillion. We were supposed to get to that purchasing power in December of next year. Even with COVID, we go to 1.9 now. It's the size of our wallet is growing by the minute. The size of our population is growing, the size of our wallet, and that's why it's imperative. It's actually essential, wherever you are, in any industry you are, that you put Latinos as your priority, business priority. Whether you're in the auto industry, we mean 68% of your growth. If you're in video games, 68% of your growth. If you're a homeowner, growth, 46% of your growth. And overall, there's absolutely no question in my mind that we're the people, we're the youth, we're the economic power, we're the purchasing power, we're the entrepreneurs. 1 in every 8 entrepreneurs in this country are Latinos, and we have to support them. And we have to grow them, and we have to do that because we don't scale. Our problem is not the volume, it's the scale. It's how do we move from 2 to 3 employees that we have the side to get to 100, and then 1 million, and then to unicorn. And that's why it's great to have, financial institutions here that are like getting the data and getting the I get it. Investment is great to see so many. Raise your hand, financial institutions in the room, please. And we're critical as a Latino population. We're critical to the economy. We're the workforce, as Anna was saying. We're 40% of the workforce of the future. And the census, and Marco was just so like, I'm so proud that you were here today. Thank you so much for being here. But wasn't he amazing, Marco Davis? Just after my husband, the best. No, but look, overall, like the census is giving us the opportunity to break every stereotype, every myth, every little doubt, everything that the census, if you haven't read the census, guys, have a tequila on me. And like have it on, explore it, enjoy it, like become the nerd and geek that we can all be on the census, because everything that the census says breaks every stereotypes of Latinos. We're absolutely not takers, we are makers. And we're making this country by paying the taxes, paying the Social Security, $215 billion at least in taxes we pay every year. More than $100 billion in Social Security. And in an aging America, we're supporting the country going. We're not takers, we are makers. And absolutely breaking the stereotypes is the language barriers. Oh, Latinos, they don't speak English very well, they don't understand a lot. Well, 80% of our population is bilingual. Take that as an example for the rest of the country. We're finishing high school. All these myths, all these like, yeah, you're great, but you don't finish high school. From the last census to now, 73% of our population is graduating more, and we're getting into higher skill jobs. More than, more than 21%. We're getting more into STEM, thanks to the efforts like Raquel Tames has done for years in trying to get Latinos into tech. That number shows 30%, 13% more of people, 18% more in healthcare education. So we're making it. We're absolutely making it. And what we're trying to say is like we're 19% of the population and only 1% in politics, 19% of the population, and Stacey said only 3% in content, 19% of the population and only 1% of all venture capital-backed companies are Latino-owned. That has to change. That has to absolutely change. So I'm absolutely delighted to be launching today with such a credible institution like Founders Factory, Hispanic Star Ventures. And I would like to talk a little bit more about what it means and what do we want it to be.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that 1% statistic is shocking given all the other data we've heard today. And I think this is a big part of the problem, right? The way the venture capital market works is you're expected to go and raise money through friends and family, prove yourself, and then you get access to capital and credibility. And obviously, not all people have access to $500,000 from their friends and family to start a business. And yet, as we heard, Hispanics are the most entrepreneurial part of the economy, the driver of small business growth, and the discrepancy between that and venture capital really needs to change. So our vision for Hispanic Star Ventures is to be the friends and family investor for Hispanic-owned businesses, and write that first check for founders when maybe they don't have the credibility or they don't have the access to networks, and we can be that network for them. And create a new generation of Hispanic leaders that you all in this room can interact with and help as well. We're starting small. It's only a $10 million fund for now, but we have to start somewhere. And the vision is to back 30 entrepreneurs over the next 3 years, create... Not just give them cash and money, but also to give them really hands-on help and connect all of our different networks across the country to support them. Involve corporates as well who can unlock their businesses to their benefit. And I think what I've really learned through working in venture is entrepreneurs inspire other entrepreneurs. Once you see successes in your communities, that inspires other people to go work for those businesses or to go out on their own and try to start their own company. And it doesn't have to be in San Francisco or just New York. There's obviously pockets of innovation and talent all across the country that we want to work with. And we can't wait to get this going and really support this next generation.
So Hispanic Star Ventures, who's in? Who wants to be in? There you go. For everybody, let's network, talk to each other. Anyone that is interested in, out, like invest or receive, whatever it is, find George Northcott. Let's give it to George. Thank you so much.